Hey, welcome to Geek Speak episode 11. What do you want to talk about, brother?
Okay, so Adult Swim just released a statement where they are no longer having Justin Roiland as a part of their Rick and Morty episodes.
Yeah, I'm a big Rick and Morty fan.
Which is kind of discerning because, I mean, he is the co-creator. He does like 90% of the voices.
And can you even have Rick and Morty without
that's
Justin?
the thing. I mean, they said they're going to carry on and they're going to continue to have episodes without him. But, I mean, does that mean the other ones are going to go into storage? Does that mean, they're going to have to get new voice actors? And
well, my understanding is that he was accused of some stuff.
Well,
but that's accusations.
Right, and it kind of puts me in the mind of that whole Johnny Depp thing. You know, he's been accused, but none of this has really gone to court as of yet.
Right.
As of this episode, none of it's gone to court. So the fact that they're considering him guilty, treating him as if he's guilty before
they've already judged him.
Yeah, they've already judged him. They've already judged him and punished him.
Yeah, and the same thing happened to Johnny Depp. What if you work for a company and some accusations were made and they actually backed you up and investigated it themselves or waited until the law, waited till it played out?
In most workplaces, there's a suspension until the investigation's over. If once the investigation's over, you're reimbursed on what time you've lost.
Yeah.
You know,
but the thing is, you had to just up and get rid of him. That's part of that whole cancel culture, which we're kind of moving out of a little bit. People have gotten tired of that. But Hogwarts Legacy is getting ready to come out.
Okay.
And so it's like an open world Harry Potter. Now, I'm not a Harry Potter fan. You are.
Right.
But to an entire generation, that was their Star Wars.
Yeah.
And so an open world Harry Potter game, and from what I've seen, it looks great if you're into that sort of thing. Well, they tried every way in the world to get people to boycott Hogwarts Legacy because they don't like JK's view on saying a man's a man's, a woman's a woman. Oh! But anyway, in the meantime, it has been the highest pre-order PS5's ever had, the highest pre-order Xbox X has ever had, and the highest pre-order on Steam. So all their efforts to get people not to buy that so JK wouldn't make some money, even though she's got like $800 million now.
Right.
Nobody paid attention to them. They're a small group. They're very vocal. And if you ignore them, that's really the best thing to do. That's really the best thing to do. So, did you ever see the Netflix show Ragnarok?
No.
So it's like a modern retelling of Norse gods, which I know you're into that. And it's really, really well done. It's got 2 seasons. Third season is getting ready to come out. And I watch it with subtitles. You can watch it where they got it dubbed in English.
Okay.
But it actually filmed over in Iceland.
Oh, okay.
And it's so good. I mean, the actors and actresses are so good. And it's like, what if all these modern deities existed today, but they were in hiding? And so if you ever get a chance to check it out, if you're into Vikings or Norse mythology, then that's something cool. What else you got?
I'm going to kind of do what I did last time and do like kind of this today in history.
Yeah.
So in January, 200 years ago, Mary Shelley released her Frankenstein series. Yeah, there was only 500 copies made back then. So to get one of the original ones, because I know we have a lot of horror fans. Yeah. And that's like a staple, Frankenstein. Yeah. So it's just kind of a cool little tidbit fact.
Yeah, I mean 200 years ago, so that's pretty.
1818.
Did you ever see the Frankenstein with Robert De Niro in it?
Yeah.
Was it any good? I didn't see it.
No, it wasn't bad. I mean, you couldn't take it as trying to be the original. Yeah. You had to take it as it is, and it was
pretty good.
Pretty good.
Well, let's see. So Hasbro's back in hot water again. We've talked about them several times in the last few Geek Speaks. Dungeons and Dragons. Somebody that works for Dungeons and Dragons leaked a legal document where they're getting ready to change their OGL or their original gamer license. The original gamer license was if you want to make something related to Dungeons and Dragons, say you wanted to create like a monster manual of your own,
right?
Something like that, and use the same stats that Dungeons and Dragons does, it wouldn't be no problem at all. And so there's a lot of people that have these entrepreneurs that have popped up over the years that really have supported Dungeons and Dragons and made it the most popular role-playing game, that now they're saying, well, if you make so much money using Dungeons and Dragons stats or using our license, that now we get to take some of that money.
Oh.
And so the community has gone off, especially, we've talked about on here, Vox Machina,
right,
that come from Critical Role.
Yeah.
Well, Critical Role has probably been the greatest free advertisement that Dungeons and Dragons could ever have. And so they've taken their characters and made podcasts, made videos, now a cartoon of their characters that are based on these Dungeons and Dragons characters. Well, they would be into them for big money.
Right.
And it all boils down to Hasbro's in trouble financially, and they're trying to scrape together every penny they can. What's going to happen, though, is those people from Critical Role and people like them are just going to leave and go to another gaming system.
Right.
Take those characters and just change the stats and change the world somewhat and just continue on without Dungeons and Dragons. And a lot of Dungeons and Dragons competitors like Pathfinder has said, hey guys, you can come over and use our system and we won't take any of your money. Yeah. You get to keep it. And so, it's just one in a long line of really bad decisions that Hasbro's made. And all their decisions have really been based on trying to save money. But if you make a decision to save money, that's fine. But if it ends up costing you money, that was a bad decision.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with saving money. So what else you got, brother?
I literally did a cosplay of Pathfinder's wizard.
Yeah, I remember that. I went to the Ren Fair. Yeah, that was awesome, man. You still got it?
Hot as hell, yeah.
You still got it?
I could probably fit back in it now.
Yeah, you should whip it out sometime.
Let's see, in 1970, the UK played the first colorized Doctor Who series in January. And it was Jean Pertwee or whatever his name is. So I just like, today in history.
Yeah. Well, do you have, as far as streaming services, do you have Hulu?
No. At the moment, all I have is Prime.
At Prime?
Yeah.
No, I said it wrong. Hulu it's on Paramount. There's this new little sitcom, and I really like it, and it's called Ghost. Just simple name, Ghost. Okay. And it's a lot like The Office. And at The Office, you had a British version first, and then they had the American version of The Office. Well, they had a British version of Ghost, and which I haven't watched, but they've started the American version. It's on 2 seasons. They're working on season 3. And I just really love the show. The premise is a man and woman inherit an old house, and it needs lots of repair. And so they're going to fix it up, make a bed and breakfast like a lot of young couples do. And they think they can make some money there. So they're borrowing money, sinking money into it. Well, during the home improvements, she takes a terrible fall, and for a few minutes, she's legally dead. Well, when she comes back, she can see everybody that's ever died on that piece of property.
Wow.
So you have a Native American, you have a Viking, you've got somebody from Victorian age, you've got like a Boy Scout leader, and he has like an arrow through his neck where one of his students killed him, and it's just really funny. So she can see and hear these ghosts, and so they're communicating with her. She's convinced her husband that they're real. It kind of takes you back to those 1980s sitcoms.
Okay.
It's not overly violent, overly sexual. The whole family can enjoy it. It's something for somebody. Yeah, it's just really, really well written. So if you haven't seen Ghost, please give it a try. I think you'll really, really like it. What else you got, man?
Today in history, in 1945, in January, Pepe Le Pew debuted in Warner Brothers. Now, the reason I'm bringing him up is because he was one of the very first cartoon characters to be canceled.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they canceled him because he was a womanizer.
Oh, well, yeah.
So
Does that hurt him financially?
Probably.
Yeah,
not.
yeah. He probably started drinking after that. Got into drugs. Let's see. Last week we started a thing where I said all modern comics suck, and that was wrong. Just 99% of them. So we started a new thing where I'm going to recommend a comic that's cheap, good art, and good story. And so today's recommendation is from Wildstorm. Came out several years ago. It was 6 issues, and it was called Rokkin. Never heard of it. I guarantee you never heard of it. You'll never hear about it. And but it was very well written, great story, great art, and you can pick them up for like $2 a pop on comicshop.com.
I don't think I've ever even heard of Wildstorm Comics.
Yeah, there was like a Jim Lee little part of DC there for a while when he joined DC, and but yeah, it's a fantasy. It's fantasy. It has a beginning and ending. It doesn't end on a cliffhanger, but you can tell they set it up where they would like to have done more. But nobody read it except for me. But I've had it for 15 years probably or more.
How many issues?
6.
Okay.
And I've read it and reread it just because it's just simple and enjoyable.
And he has a power sword.
And he has a magical sword. Yeah. It's just a good fantasy, good versus evil, and so yeah, check it out. Anything else?
Nope.
Let's see. Do I have anything else? Yes. So I'd already seen Primal. We talked about Primal.
Right.
And we're not going to talk about it again because we already talked about that.
Right.
But you recently watched it.
I did.
And you enjoyed it.
I really did.
So now I have a recommendation for you.
Okay.
Have you ever played that? Far Cry Primal?
No, I've heard of it.
So it's called Primal as well, but no relation to the Genndy Tartikoff Adult Swim cartoon.
Right.
But it's first person, which I don't like first person. But it's the Far Cry series. There's a bunch of them, but they're all bang bang shoot 'em up.
Right.
With this one, you got stone axes and spears and saber-toothed tigers, and mammoths, and you got to survive. And it's addicting. I mean, I love it.
Huh.
And so if you can get it for PS4, you can get it for Xbox One, and but it's a great game. And if you guys haven't played it, definitely try it out, especially if you're a fan of the whole Genndy Tartikoff Primal series.
You don't own a PS4, do you?
Teresa does, so I guess
okay.
technically I do. But, so do you have anything else?
No.
All right, well, I've got it today in history.
Oh, good.
Today in history, we did Geek Speak 11.
Oh, okay. All righty.
It's over, because you're done, right?
I'm done.
All right, well, I'm done too.
Later.